How are we doing, everyone? I trust you've been safe and well and training hard. With the ICN Nationals now at an end and this season over, training for next year has already begun. So I'm coming off of a shred where I went light weights, higher reps, so now we're going to be progressively overloading back to a lot more heavier weights to build some muscles. If you've been following along, you would have known that I've been talking about my shortfalls, which have been like rear delts, needing to get a bit more back as good as my front and blowing out my legs. So over the next few months or over this next year, that's what I'll be focusing on more primarily, while maintaining my chest and abs and biceps and that, because that's all relatively well. I need to bring everything else up to that same level. Today we're doing back, and before starting, I've taken a shot of my very own Australian formulated and made pre-workout. It's available on my online store. Check it out if you're interested. But let's get to some back workouts. First up, lat pull downs. So we've just got relatively light weights on there. We'll be building up a bit more. For most part, I train at home in the garage. Being a lot older with kids, it's a bit easier. I can spend more time with the kids. You'll see the kids running in and out through various videos every now and then. It's quite good. They get involved in all the action. But today what we're aiming for is progressive overload. So at the moment, I've got, 25 kilos on the pull down. I find that this equipment makes it a bit harder. The pulley system doesn't do as much work as what you would find in the gym. So I see a lot of people saying that, you can only put 70 kilos on this thing and it won't take more and I can't lift more. I think you have to be aware of the different gym equipment. More pulleys in the system in the gym makes it more work on the machine and less work on yourself. Something like this, very few cables, very few pulleys. You're lifting a lot more of the weight. We're going to be aiming for 3 sets of 12. That might be all right. I might need to go a bit heavier, but let's give it a crack and see how we go. So first of all, you want a wide grip. So keep yourself relatively centered. A wide grip will help you blow out your back, and that's what our aim is. So 1, we're going for 12. Yeah, look, that's too light. We're going to have to go a bit more. Let's try 30. We'll give that a crack. Still might be too light. Let's see how we go. So you want to control the weight. Yeah, this is probably going to be too light. And so when you come down, you just want to sort of tense so you feel it in your back there, in your lats. Yeah, look, that's probably too light. We're going to have to put some more weight on that. But that's our first set done. Let's pop on some more weight and go a bit harder. All right, so we've added an extra 15 on that. So we've got 30, 40, 45 kilos. I think a major issue that we just had then is from shredding, having low calories. You don't have as much energy and strength now because I'm eating back to normal, increasing fats and protein. I've got a bit more strength. So let's see how this goes. No, it's still a bit too light. So nice and straight back. I'm going to bring it down to here, chest level. And just hold and up. Yeah, look, that's still too light. I've got to 12 really easy. What you want to do is you want to try and get to that 12th rep and be kind of fatigued and not so much struggle, but you want to feel it in your back. Otherwise, you're not really going to be building muscle. With that, if you want to do it that way, you want to go hypertrophy, which is more reps. But again, that's going to give you more of a definition rather than growth. And what you really want to do is shock the muscle into expanding, pretty much. So let's jam on some more weights and see how we go. All right, so here we are again. I think this one will make it a bit harder to get to 12. See how we go. If not, we'll just do another set. Oh, there we go. Now I can feel that. And it also gets easier to do the set. So as you can see, I'm controlling it easier because it's heavier. That's what it's about. It's about maintaining and you're getting your muscles to do all that work. You want to control that weight. Let's keep going. And you don't want to go past 15. So if you want to build size, 8 is the minimum. You want to get to 8 reps minimum. 12 is optimal, going for that superset. Don't surpass 15. Anything more than 15, you're going to start shredding. And again, it might work differently for you. That's what works for me. All right, let's go do some ab exercises. So one thing you would have seen with me on stage is that I do have a really good front and abdomen. It's just something I like to have personally. I know it's not always, well received within bodybuilding. But overall, I think outside of competitions, I really enjoy having a strong core and having those abs showing. A lot of people probably don't train abs that hard. I don't train them as hard as I used to anymore. I just do 2 exercises, sit-ups with a weight and Russian twists, and that's about it really. So if you're at home, find yourself somewhere to jam your feet under. I'm just using a barbell like that. Start off relatively decent, get yourself a weight, and that's it. How many? I'll just go to about 30. Obviously, start off without a weight if you want, and then build up. I don't go over 10 anymore because I really don't want to grow them any bigger. This is where it starts to hurt. So yeah, just sit-ups, Russian twists, which I'll go through after, and every now and then I'll throw in some leg raises to really focus those bottom abs. But yeah, that's about it really. As you can see, get you some good size. All right, and now we're on to lower back. For these, I do RDLs, Romanian deadlifts. I'm going to go easy today just because I'm coming out of that shred from on stage, although the pull downs, or lat pull downs, I need to go heavier, but we'll see how we go. I've got 5 to 30, a 40 kilo bar at the moment. I've gone through these exercises in the past. But again, just again, legs shoulder length apart. You just want to keep your back straight on a 90-degree angle. Come down and then up and tense your glutes. Press forward. Like that. Yes, that's too light. These are a great exercise for your hamstrings, glutes, and lower back. Seem to have lost count, and they're a bit too light. Again, 3 sets of 12. Don't go over 12. I find, not going over 12. You can do 4 sets. But at the moment, we're getting back into that bulk from the shred. But yeah, RDLs, a great exercise to do. One thing I've only just started doing, I've got this tip from a mate, really great tip, and it really helped me propel a bit more forward in the competition and blow up my back. I didn't have enough time to build it, but now I get to focus on these more often. Gyms don't always have these lying around. You're probably best off, picking up your own so you can carry around with you. But these are sort of your overhead one arm rows. These are really great for isolating, your lower parts of your lats. I've got a previous video up on YouTube and TikTok if you want to see it working in motion. But what you want to do, come back a bit. So sit up straight, back straight, and then row down. Everything feels so light after eating food again. Well, it's a plus because I'll be able to grow. Again, just the 12. I'm going to have to go a bit heavier after these sets. Roll across, much easier at home. I can move my bench around real easy. That's what I love about this sport, is that you don't need a lot of space to be able to train and compete. I still do go to a gym, but I've got this at home for days that I can't get to the gym. After work, makes it easier. Or if me and the kids are playing, we'll do a session here together. They really enjoy being involved. Even the neighbours' kids will come around, use the treadmill. Obviously, you got to supervise them. So yeah, and how often do you rest between sets? With this exercise, I find that it best works not to rest. You don't need to. You can just keep going because your arms resting the whole way through as you're doing the other one. Hopefully I did 12 in the other one. I think I might have stuffed up a rep there. You kind of just want to make sure you're pulling it all the way back. Just keep going. And that. This is how you build your back. It's kind of like a wide grip. Wide grip's great as well. And isolating this works even better. Just like that. So another thing you would have seen in my video were my obliques. How good did they look? Shredded, just popping out. I love it. Like even not winning or coming first, I still won, came fifth. It's still a good outcome. But even not coming first, just seeing me on stage there, just shredded, low body fat, all those muscles, just really showcasing those obliques. Like I was blown away by that as well. It's just a real experience. You're used to seeing other people on stage like that, and then when you're on stage, you just don't really recognize yourself. But yeah, for those obliques, Russian twists, like that's it. Legs up a bit, and then just row. My bike there. If you're starting out, keep your feet on the ground. That's fine. You just want to row. I start with a 2 kilo weight or a 5 kilo weight. So I'll go to 24, and that's pretty much like so 1, 2, 3, like that. That's 24. And I don't even know how many I've done. Obviously, if you put your legs up a bit, try to swing, lean back a bit, you get a bit more of a deeper workout. Fantastic for obliques, and as you can see, mine really stuck out. Also lower abs. That's a great exercise. And another great exercise that I really love doing are pull-ups. These are great for blowing out your lats as well. A lot of people put up videos previously, people are like, oh, you're not really doing one. Where's your legs? Like I've been able to do pull-ups for years. And you don't want to do no CrossFit pull-ups. You want steady, controlled movements all the way up. Okay. So you put your legs back a bit like that if you want, makes it easier. 1, 2, 3. So chin all the way up. 6, 7, all the way up. All the way up. So yeah, 3 sets of 12, pretty easy. Smash them out. Great for delts, biceps, forearms, back, whole upper body. That's pretty much why my upper body looks so well, because I do a shit ton of pull-ups properly. All right. You didn't think that was it, did you? Oh, no. We're up against some people that are enhanced in this sector, and you've got to train that little bit harder when you're doing it naturally. And that's a big part of what I'm trying to start here and why I've started doing blogs and things like that. We're on the way to the gym now to use some machines. So there's only so much you can do at home with free weights and things like that. And you do really need some assistance from machines, because they really help you isolate some exercises, muscle groups, better than what you can on free weights. Especially for back and legs when you're looking to blow them out. But I thought this would be, a good opportunity, a good moment for a bit of a brief interlude. I'm heading to the gym a bit later, being a bit older. I've got kids, got dad duties, and that's the priority first. You need to spend time with your kids, your family, and all this kind of stuff. Once you've done what you need to do, your job, you can head out and go to the gym. Usually that involves, lunches, getting the kids ready for bed, all that kind of stuff. Obviously sometimes I'll nick out a bit earlier, but I thought it was a good opportunity for me to explain a bit more what I'm trying to achieve. A big part of why I've decided to, start blogging and getting involved in the sport and all that kind of stuff is it's something I've done for many years. I've trained for many years. I've been active, and a big part of it, and the reason why I didn't go full-blown bodybuilding previously is because I wasn't really doing it to be the best bodybuilder or be the best of anything really. I was doing it for mental health. Life can be hard, especially for blokes, and gym is a great outlet for that. It's a great way to find some support group, and I've got great mates at the gym. I've still got good friends from back in the day as well, but as people get older, they drift apart, people move to different areas, so it gets harder to stay in contact. It's great to be able to go out and make some new friends. And finding friends that share the same values, do the same things, it just makes life a lot easier. I'm not saying that my other mates don't also value gym. It's just the way things work out. People drift further away. I've ended up further out from where I grew up, just affordability and things like that. But I want to announce a bit more of what I'll be doing in the coming months. So you would have seen that I've launched my own supplements company, and the reason why I've done that, there's a few reasons. Like growing up and training for the last 15, 16, 17 years, I've always taken supplements, pre-workouts, all that kind of stuff. And as you get older, I think when you're young, you're looking for, what's the best thing, and you look for what are all these athletes taking and all that kind of stuff, and you want to, because you legitimately think that's the best stuff because this bloke's endorsed it, all that kind of stuff. But as you get older, you learn more around economics, business, and you understand how communities operate in relation to finances. And one thing I know, or I've learned as now that I'm older, is really that we spend so much money on these supplements. A large portion are imported from other countries. It's $1 billion industry. Not many of them are made around here, and people say, it's too expensive to compete, all that kind of stuff. But I think it's important to really mention that how can you be supportive of men's health if you're not buying Australian made that keeps men in jobs? If we talk about family violence, and things like that. A core thing with family violence, right? And this is why, like, if you're asking about the background, where I work, what I do, I don't really make it all that public, but I had troubles growing up. I was that troubled youth, all that kind of stuff. About our sob story, we all go through it. I don't want to sit and bore you with it. But I actually went into social work, which is quite a heavily female-dominated sector. There's not many men in it. I think there's probably more men going into it now, which also is a reason why you would have, if you've read one of my previous articles, we identified that men's health is funded 150 million per annum in Australia, while women's health is 1.1 billion. Again, it's because the sector is mainly, I'm not saying that it's women's fault or anything like that, it's no one's fault. Blokes need to speak up a bit more about things, let's be honest, because men don't, and they need to. But a core thing around family violence is that it happens, finances are a big burden. Like the more in poverty you are, the more likely you're going to experience AOD issues, family violence, financial struggles, all that kind of stuff. So you really can't be talking about men's health if you're sitting here and buying things that are imported from other countries, where you're supporting other nations' economic impacts rather than your local communities. So this is why I've went, you know what, I'm a bit older, smart, I've got a bit of money, I'm going to try to do it. If it doesn't work, it doesn't work. I've lost cash, whatever, It's been really supportive. Blokes at the gym, all on it, they've all ditched their own, where they used to buy, and they're buying off me, off our company. It's all good stuff, all premium. It's made here in Australia. I've got a manufacturer that I'm working with in Queensland, and I'm also now getting involved with one locally in the western suburbs, which is great, because I think that really focuses, like, yes, I want to build the economic value in Australia, but I also want to do it in my community. And having a manufacturer located in the western suburbs is point. So obviously most people buying off me live in the western suburbs, because that's where my reach is, that's where my networks are. So effectively, if they're buying products off me that they would have always normally bought, a lot of the stuff which is imported, instead of that money going overseas, that money is going to the local manufacturer, and they're employing more people. And yes, women can work as men, equal pay, all that kind of stuff. That's been, feminism movement's been going along for quite some time, and hats off to it. But when it comes down to it, there's still quite a lot of weight and expectations on men to deliver, to be the breadwinner. We can have all these opinions about, equality in the workplace, yes, but people still expect men to be the primary breadwinner. It'll change in time, I'm sure. Who knows? My household is quite equal, but for many out in the West especially, it's about getting a job, right? That's the primary focus. Let's be real here. People talk about equality. There is no equality if you can't get a job, right? Men or women, doesn't matter what gender you are. If you can't get a job, you're in poverty. Everything else is second nature. It doesn't matter who's talking about what issue. If you can't put food on the table, it's just not happening. And that's a big part of why I'm moving into this space. The other thing is, we're seeing a lot of podcasts now. It's a great medium, there's great content coming out there. But again, I'm not seeing many Australians or many, working class people, getting into that space. Yes, you've got, Rogan, a great podcast, there's a few others, but a lot of it's, again, I don't know, I just feel it misses the mark. And again, I don't feel we should be, making money for other, areas, when we should be trying to do what we can locally to increase, value, economic input, all that kind of stuff. So that's a bit about what I'm doing. I do have a bit of a plan about opening, my own gym. So I'm just trying to see how this works, because, having worked in the social work sector, I understand that government funding isn't always sustainable or the best, and a lot of organisations struggle with the sustainability aspect of their businesses or services. So I was looking at sort of a model where, your basic income stream is your gym. Obviously a hard market, because there are a lot of big gyms around here in the West. But have a gym, and then you could also have your support rooms. And I don't want to use the support rooms, because it's these general models of supportive, get a support worker, because it's not really, like that's a model. But if you look at how we are at the gym, all the blokes catching up, having a chat, we have a whinge about life, you know. And I think we need more of that. And those guys, what I find with the guys that I hang around with, we're all being older, people in our 50s, 60s, still training. We're getting a lot of younger blokes come in, a lot of issues with youth out here in the West. And it comes down to, you know, what people are seeing on TV again. You know, social media is having massive issues on youth, especially when it comes to relationships, like healthy relationships with women or women with men, whatever, is again, like people are jumping on Instagram, seeing all these influencers, and they're not retaining their relationships, like they're not working on themselves or their relationships. They're always looking for the next best thing. Like the actual relationship is now no longer the primary, you know, goal. It's more like, what can I do better? And then they jump on Instagram, you know, TikTok, all this other crap, and see all these Photoshop things and think, oh, that's the ideal person I need to be with. You know, even just a couple of months ago, which is what kicked me off in this space, you know, having kids of my own, I get worried about it, and so I want to try and do something about it. I was sitting in a cafe having a coffee, and I was just listening to I think they were in high school. A couple of high school kids, they were eating chips, burgers, whatever, and I was there having a coffee, and I just was overhearing their conversation. Their conversation was about how many followers someone had to have to date them, right? Now, I understand that at school people were talking about popularity and all that kind of thing, and whatever, it's a bit shit, but to hear kids say that that person doesn't have enough followers for me to date them or talk to them or consider them, that doesn't sit well with me. And I don't know if parents my age are catching onto this. Like I've caught that, and I'm like, ooh, what's that got to mean for my kids? And you know, are schools teaching relationship properly? You know, there's school that can go on another tangent there about the education system, which I'm not even going to bother. I'm sure everyone is aware how we could all have complaints. But anyway, the primary focus is here is what can we do as a community to really start making a difference? And that's what I'm doing here, right? Any Joe bloke can jump on the internet and, yeah, this is how you do a bicep curl, this is how you do a squat. But if you've been following me along, I know a lot of people have just jumped on recently, but you know, for a lot of my friends who have been around for a while, a lot of people know I'm quite the activist, quite the advocate, always having a go at someone, always like a dog with a bone. I don't tend to give up. I tend to try and do a thing. You know, this is coming from my social work background, setting up food share programs, you know, relief programs, all kind of things. Like I come from quite the poverty background, and I don't sit there and go, woe is me. I'm like, I don't like this. What are you going to do about it? We need to change it. And I don't tend to take no for an answer, right? Like, let's be honest. Yeah, everyone who's watching this right now is going to go, yeah, this cunt fucking rules. And I will brawl. So in all avenues, I don't really care. I have a goal to reach. There's a problem. It needs to be resolved. And if everyone knows, you know, people don't like to budge, people don't like change. But I think there's a really, really strong issue emerging here with youth and men that needs to be resolved. Right? It's men's health and youth, something that gets overlooked. And I think it's time that we actually put our foot down and did something about it. So anyway, I'm just pulling up to the gym now. I hope that explains a bit more of what I'm trying to do. If you've got any questions, feel free to reach out. But I want to leave you with something before we start training, is that I don't want you to feel or think that you can't make change, right? Because that is the biggest, you know, setback I come across with many people. Oh, you can't change it, why bother? Like, you can change whatever you want to change, right? You think you can't change your community? It's quite easy, it's quite simple. You know, oh, this person, this, that person, that. It's just all, just don't. If there is an issue and you want to resolve it, don't sit back, get up and make the change. And if you like to see some of it come into, you know, progress or whatever the word is, follow along, because we're about to make some change. Now let's go finish our back session, because we've got a competition to win next year. All right, now that we're back in the gym, it's time to hit up some seated rows. I love this machine. I do this 12 reps like this, so you'll see that the weight's not that heavy, but I like to break it up, and you'll see why. So we start off with 12 for both arms, and then 12 on the single arm, and then 12 on the other arm, and then 12 again. So you've got like about, what's that, 48, 12, 12, 24, yeah, 48 reps in total, and then we have a bit of a rest and then start again. I'm doing this to really get that size and get my lats built. And then we're on to lower back with some extensions. I've only just started doing these again after having a bit of an injury. You can do these unweighted, but these are a great exercise. They also work out your glutes and your hamstrings. And if you haven't done these before, you'll really feel it in your hamstrings. So yeah, definitely. And yeah, so that's about it. I would have liked to have done a few more back exercises, but it was quite busy in there tonight. So, but I'm still pretty happy with that. I did, extensions there, that row, that was pretty good. I did jump on and do some bent over rows as well. I think they were really good. I just didn't rip out the camera. Just a few people around. I don't always like to interfere with people's training. If there's a lot of people around, I won't always rip out the camera. So I find it quite confronting at times and things. But yeah, bent over rows with the other one. So no, it was really good. And the seated rows were all right. But yeah. Take care. Don't forget to like, subscribe, and follow for more. And if you want to get involved with the movement, jump online, check out my website, pick up some Aussie-made supplements. We've got more things coming soon. And yeah, don't forget to leave us a review on YouTube and Google and all that kind of stuff. Take care, and I'll see you in the next video.